Hello students, today I will begin the magnetic field due to toroidal solenoid. So first you know what is toroidal solenoid or what is toroid. What is toroid or what is toroidal solenoid. Now toroid means it is an endless solenoid. Endless solenoid. Endless solenoid means which are having no end. Now see here, how will you make a toroidal solenoid? So you take a solenoid, as you know that solenoid is made by doing the windings of insulated copper wire over a cylindrical core of some non-magnetic material. Over a cylindrical core of some non-magnetic material, and when current passes through it, what will happen? It will become a cylindrical bar magnet. Its one face will be like north pole and the other face will be like the south pole. Here each turn of the coil will behave like a magnetic dipole, and this solenoid will also behave like a magnetic dipole. It's clear. Here one face will be the north pole and other face is the south pole. Now this is one end and this is other end. Now suppose here this winding has been done over a flexible tube. Flexible tube, for example, the tube which is used to in water tap to fill the water. It's clear, flexible rubber tubing you have seen. So see here, first you do the windings like this and then you bend it in the form of circle. You bend it in the form of circle and connect both the ends, means it will be like this. In that case, when it will be bent in the form of circles and both the ends are joined together, what will happen? It will be like this. It's clear. Here it will be like this. Here turnings will be, here I am showing the turnings. If I show, then it is like this. These will be the turnings. This. It's clear. Here this is known as toroidal solenoid. Now what is the difference between both? It behaves as a magnetic dipole while it do not behave as a magnetic dipole, but produces magnetic. It's clear. Means it do not have any dipole moment. It produces magnetic. Now see here, if you see that what will be the pattern of magnetic lines of force. So first you see where will it set up the magnetic field. Here outside the toroid, means in this region, it will not set up any magnetic field. Magnetic field will be zero. Within this space, there will be no magnetic field. Within the empty space enclosed by the toroid, there will be no magnetic field. While inside the core of the toroid, this is known as core of the toroid, there is a magnetic field in the form of magnetic lines of force in the form of concentric circles. It's clear. Now these magnetic lines of force will be in the form of concentric circles whose center will be this, which is the center of this circular toroid. It is clear. This will be the magnetic lines of force. It's clear. Means how will you make the toroidal solenoid? Toroidal solenoid can be made by bending the solenoid in the form of a circle and then joining its ends. Within the empty space enclosed by the toroidal solenoid, there will be no magnetic field. Outside the toroidal solenoid, there will be no magnetic field. But inside the core of the solenoid, toroidal solenoid, there will be the magnetic lines of force in the form of concentric circles. It's clear. Now we will deduce the magnitude of magnetic field inside the core of the toroidal solenoid. It is clear. And here we have taken this solenoid as a thin solenoid, that the solenoid is very thin. It is clear. So here this toroidal solenoid is very thin, which means that its external radius and internal radius both are same. This is external radius, this is the internal radius, and capital R minus small r is negligible. There is no much difference. It's clear. So we have taken a thin toroidal solenoid. It's clear. Now see here, how will you deduce the magnetic field due to toroidal solenoid? So now see here, you can see here I have taken a toroidal solenoid on the plane of paper. Magnetic field due to toroidal solenoid. Field due to thin toroidal solenoid. Now see here, we have taken a thin toroidal solenoid situated on the plane of paper. It is situated on the plane of paper. So here I am trying to make these circles. This and this is a toroidal solenoid. If you see here, when we do the windings, so suppose this is situated on the plane of paper. When this is situated on the plane of paper and you have done the winding, so see here, suppose the current is flowing in this way. So here current goes perpendicular to the plane of paper upward, while when this wire will bend, then here in this side current will flow perpendicular to the plane of paper downward. It's clear. Here in this side current is flowing perpendicular to the plane of paper upward, and when that wire will bend, in that side it will go perpendicular to the plane of paper downward. So here also the same thing will be there. In one side there will be current direction perpendicular to the plane of paper upward. In the other side it will be perpendicular to the plane of paper downward. Instead of making turns here, I am showing the direction of current, and there will be same number of turns in the either side. Suppose there are 100 turns in this side, then 100 turns will also be in this side, because every turn, here you can see that every turn which comes from this side bends and goes in the other side. This is one edge, this is the inner edge, and this is the outer edge. It is clear. So here there will be equal number of turns in both the sides. I have made here like this. And in the inner side I have taken that turns are carrying the current perpendicular to the plane of paper upward, while then in outer side it will be perpendicular to the plane of paper downward. It is clear. There will be equal number of turns in both sides. It is clear. When you will make in this side, it will be like this. This way it will be. I am making this. These are the current turns of a toroidal solenoid which is situated on the plane of paper and carrying current I. Let there are total number of turns capital N. Total number of turns are capital N. This way. So number of turns are capital N, and current flowing is I. It's clear. Here we have taken its radius as small r, average radius is small r. So since this is a thin toroid, here it is a thin toroid, it means that its internal radius as well as external radius, everything will be smaller. Whether you take this distance, that is smaller, or you take this distance, that will also be equal to smaller. It's clear. Or if you take the distance of this point from the center O, that will also be smaller. It's clear, because it is a thin toroid, and in thin toroid, capital R minus small r, external radius minus internal radius is negligible. It is clear that here I am using the symbol capital R. It is clear. Instead of taking small r, I am taking capital R. It is clear. Now see here, we have to determine the magnetic field at any point inside the core of the solenoid. Inside the core of the solenoid. So how will you find the inside the core of the toroidal solenoid? So how will you find the magnetic field at any point inside? So you can see here the magnetic lines of force will be in the form of concentric circles, which I am showing you here. This is the pattern of magnetic lines of force. It's clear. This is the pattern of magnetic lines of force inside the core of the solenoid in the form of concentric circles. So here we will find out the magnetic field by using Ampere's circuital theorem. Ampere's circuital theorem. It's clear. So as you know that in order to determine the magnetic field at any inside point, we will assume an Amperian loop which should pass through that point at which field is required. Suppose the field is required at this point, so we will take an Amperian loop which is symmetrical also, and passes through the point P. So if you see here, I have taken this as the Amperian loop. This we have taken as an Amperian loop. It is clear. Means here Amperian loop is coinciding to the magnetic field. This. What will be the magnetic field here? Magnetic field direction will be this. What will be the vector dl? This is the magnetic field. What will be the vector dl? Vector dl will also be in the same direction. Here this is the vector dl, that will also be in the same direction. What is the space enclosed by the toroidal solenoid? You can see here how much space is enclosed by the toroidal solenoid. This space is enclosed by the toroidal solenoid. Now how many ampere turns? Area is lying on the plane of paper. How many current turns are penetrating to this area? So these one which are in the inner side. These current turns are penetrating to this area. But these current turns which are lying outside this area, they are not penetrating. So they are in how many in numbers? Capital N. So what will be the net current which is penetrating to the area enclosed by Amperian loop? What will be the net current which is penetrating to the area enclosed by current loop? So there are n turns, each turn is carrying I current. So what will be the I net? I net will be equal to n into I. I net will be equal to n into I. So from Ampere's circuital theorem, Ampere's circuital theorem, if you see from Ampere's circuital theorem, integral B dot dl over the Amperian loop will be equal to mu naught times of the net current threading to the area enclosed by empyrean loop. What will be integral B dot dl? You take any point on the empyrean loop, at all of them vector B and vector dl both will be in the same direction. Vector B and vector dl both will be in the same direction. This is vector dl and this is the vector B. All are in the same direction. You take the point here. What will be the direction of vector B? Vector B is this. Vector dl is this. They are in the same direction. So what will be vector B dot vector dl? So vector B dot vector dl, you can see it is equal to B dl cos 0 degree equals to mu naught I net equals to Ni. It is clear. Now, since B is differing only in the direction, its magnitude will be same because of the symmetry. Why? Because of the symmetry? Because whether you take this point on the empyrean loop or this, all are situated at same distance from O. And what is that distance? It is equal to the average radius of the toroidal solenoid, which I have taken capital R. So since B is same in magnitude, because here only magnitude comes, so you can take out magnitude common. Integral dl cos 0 is 1 equals to mu naught Ni. It's clear? So you can see here, this we can write B integral dl over the empyrean loop equals to mu naught Ni. Now this integration has been done over the empyrean loop, and integration means here, what is the integration means here? It is the sum of lengths of all current segments over this empyrean loop, means it will be equal to circumference of empyrean loop. Since its radius is capital R, so what will be circumference? 2 pi capital R. It will be equal to 2 pi capital R. It's clear? So we will substitute here. In place of integral dl, we will substitute 2 pi R. So you can see here, when you will do this, you can see that B into 2 pi R equals to mu naught Ni. So what is B? B equals to mu naught Ni upon 2 pi R. This is the magnetic field inside the thin toroidal solenoid. Magnetic field inside the core of thin toroidal solenoid, where capital R is the average radius of the solenoid. I is the strength of current flowing, and N is the number of turns, total number of turns, current turns in the toroidal solenoid. Now see here, there are how many current turns? N. What is this distance? It is equal to 2 pi R. It is equal to 2 pi R. And how many turns are there? N. N turns are there in the length 2 pi R. So what will be N upon 2 pi R? N upon 2 pi R is number of turns per unit length. Number of turns per unit length. It's clear? This we denote by small n. Here we denote it by small n. That is equals to small n. So B equals to mu naught Ni, means same as solenoid, same as long solenoid. It is clear? But here small n is equal to capital N upon 2 pi R. So this is the magnetic field inside the core of the toroidal solenoid. But suppose you have to find the magnetic field within the empty space enclosed by the toroidal solenoid or outside the toroidal solenoid, then how will you find? So you can see here I am making another diagram. You can see First we will see inside that solenoid. Inside the empty space enclosed by toroidal solenoid. So here I am making this is the diagram of toroidal solenoid. Here one thing is important, though it is producing magnetic field, but it is not a magnetic dipole. It has no magnetic moment. It is clear. Inside the, here already the current turns I have shown. I will not show many turns here, only few turns in both sides I am showing. It is clear, means the turns will be like this. This is the center O. Now suppose you have to determine the magnetic field at this point, here, at the point P. So once again we will take an Amperian loop. Here I am taking a circular Amperian loop passing through the point P. Passing through the point P. It's clear. Now you can see here how much area is enclosed by this. This much area is enclosed by Amperian loop. This is Amperian loop for point P. For point P, it is the Amperian loop. How much area is enclosed? This. Now, how many current turns are passing through this area? How many current turns are passing through this area? So, you can see neither these turns are passing, which are at the edge of the inner core, why nor these one are passing. No current turn is passing through this area. So, what will be the I net here? I net will be equal to 0. When I net will be equal to 0, then integral B dot dl equals to mu naught into I net. That will become 0. Integral B dot dl over this Amperian loop, which is for the point P, which is for the point P, passing through the point P. So, what will be the magnetic field at the P? When this line integral of magnetic field over this Amperian loop is 0, it means B will be equal to 0. There will be no magnetic field within the empty space enclosed by the toroidal solenoid. Now, if you take some point here Q, I have taken a point Q. So, now I will take this Amperian loop which passes through the point Q. It's clear. This I have taken because of the symmetry. This will be taken circular. It is clear. Now, if you see here, how much area is enclosed by this Amperian loop? This Amperian loop is for point Q. Amperian loop for point P. So, how much area is enclosed by this Amperian loop? If you see here, so you will find that how much area is enclosed? This area is enclosed. Now, if you see how many current turns are penetrating to this Amperian loop, so you can find that these turns are carrying the current in downward direction. These turns are carrying the current in upward direction, and all are penetrating to this. They are how many in number? Already I have taken capital N. It is clear. Means you can say that this much current N into I current is flowing in the downward direction. They are how many in number? Which are in the inner side and penetrating to this area, whole area. They are also N, each carrying current I upward. So this means Ni current flows upward, Ni current flows downward. So what is the net current threading? Threading means penetrating to the surface enclosed by this Amperian loop. that will be equal to 0. And when this will become 0, once again the same thing, integral B dot dl over this Amperian loop will be 0. It will become 0, therefore B will become 0. Means whether the point is situated within the empty space enclosed by the toroidal solenoid or situated outside the toroidal solenoid, there will be no magnetic field. Magnetic field will be present within the core of the solenoid in the form of concentric circular lines. It's clear? And what will be the magnetic field? It will be equal to mu naught Ni upon 2 pi r, where r is the average radius of the thin toroidal solenoid. Now there is one more thing, average radius of thin toroidal solenoid. Suppose the internal radius is small a, external radius is small b, then you can write r equals to a plus b upon 2. You have taken internal radius small a, external radius small b, so average radius will be a plus b upon 2. It's clear? So in this lecture we will do only up to here. Now if you have any confusion, then you ask and mention in the comment box or send me the message so that your problems can be resolved. It's clear? After this we will take the next topic, which is perhaps the force acting on a current carrying conductor placed in external magnetic field. It's clear? So thank you.